No, I'm about to go in. Told me that I couldn't do it, but I gotta bring it back. So they're really numb with it. Let's go. Tell me where you're from, where you stay. No, I keep it lit from the coast to the bay. Peace on the right.
If you guys are looking to buy the cheapest and most reliable Madden coins on the market, head over to buymaddencoins.com. They guarantee a 5-minute delivery on all purchases and offer 24/7 customer support. Use code MAZE at checkout for 10% off. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. In today's video, we are going over some MUT leaks. For those of you guys that don't know, there's a Twitter account called MUTleaks20, and today I'm going to be going over some stuff they tweeted earlier this morning. And it's going to be a little bit different of a video. I'm not going to cut it up. It might be a little bit longer because they did tweet out a lot of stuff. Basically, this account uses a PC to look at the code of Madden and give some insight onto how the mechanics of the game actually work. Sometimes leaking information, sometimes leaking cards before they're released, sometimes leaking the pack opening animations, and then leaking other things such as this, which is going over the abilities and exactly how abilities work in Madden 20. So this is something that has been a little bit of a question mark with Madden 20. They introduce abilities into the game, and everyone knows how they work in-game, but they don't know why they work the way they do, and they don't know the ins and the outs of the abilities. So what MUTleaks did is it goes in and it looks at the individual mechanics of each ability and how they work. Now, I saw this tweet, and then I saw a lot of the replies, and people were really confused. Now, MUTleaks is obviously a very smart guy. He knows what he's doing with all this computer stuff, but I feel like sometimes what the account fails to do is like touch the general public with the information. They get a lot of really juicy, good information, but then they phrase it in terminology that, to not be a dick, it goes a little over the heads of most of the community. So this is the tweet they posted this morning. It says, as of Madden 20, the ability system was massively overhauled. So to put it in other words, they added abilities, it was game-breaking. Abilities in Madden 20 act as global overrides with many individual mechanics strung together to achieve the intended effect of the ability. Now that's the sentence that lost a lot of people. So instead of individual mechanics, think of it as like animation thresholds. So when you have an ability, that ability is going to override the animation you get and give you the best animation based on the ability. So they string together all the best animations. For instance, armbar. You know, you stiff arm people to the depths of hell with armbar. So they string together all the elite armbar animations, and then it overrides, when you armbar, it overrides to give you that animation every time. So that's how the ability works. Now it says the following charts show what mechanics are utilized by what abilities. So it just shows how the abilities actually work, what the ability does specifically, because a lot of the abilities seem pretty similar. So sometimes it's hard to differentiate what one does versus the other. If they both give you better stiff arming, does one give you better stiff arming than the other one? So what they did is they broke it down into a chart going over all the abilities. I'm going to look through this right now and kind of explain what the code means. It's not too complicated, but I did have a lot of people on Twitter telling me that they would appreciate this. So to start, we're looking at some running back abilities. And like I said, this is going to be a little bit more of a long video, a little uncut. I'm going to give my opinion on a lot of these abilities. Hopefully you get something out of it. Actually looking at this, I've learned that there are some abilities that I should not be using, and there are some abilities that I really should be using. So actually, instead of starting with the running back abilities, that's the one he posted first. The one that I think is the most valuable, if I can find it here, is the DLine Abilities. So we got the DLine Abilities pulled up right here. So we got pass rush elite, edge threat, under pressure, finesse specialist, and power specialist. Now a lot of these seem pretty similar. Now the way this is broken down, we're going to start by looking at pass rush elite and edge threat. Edge threat elite. Pass rush elite and edge threat elite. These are the two best out of this group. These are the elite ones. So to start to read, I need to zoom in here to read this. Pass rush elite says blocking defender, blocking def, underscore, initial timer reductions. So that has to do with the block sheds. So if you guys didn't know, pass rush elite gives you elite pass rush moves and increased block shed or decreased block shed time. So you get faster block sheds, better pass rush moves. So the blocking defender, initial timer reduction. So it means you shed the block faster. That's all that means. And then the next one says blocking defender, upgrade defensive win to super underscore defensive move. So you're upgrading when your defender wins. So every time two players engage, it's a random number generator. It is random based on their statistics, who's going to win and who's going to lose. So sometimes when you barely win, you get a shitty animation. Let's say it's trucking. You truck somebody, you just fall forward. You won, but you only got 1 or 2 extra yards. Then there's a super win where you truck them and they bounce off you and you get a speed burst. That's a super win. So there's a difference between a win and a super win. So what this is also doing is upgrading your win on your pass rush to a super win. So every time you win, you're going to get that insta-shed sack on the quarterback. So that's what Pass Rush Elite does. Only two things, but two very big things. Now, Edge Threat Elite does the same super win upgrade. So it upgrades your win on the D-line to a super win. And then on top of that, your blocking defense gets signature interior rushing animations, signature edge rushing animations. So now their interior animations and edge animations get a boost. They get buffed. And then on top of that, they get pressure increase as well. So the distance that they pressure the quarterback increases, and then also how much the pressure affects the quarterback also increases. So to me, Edge Threat Elite definitely seems like the better one there. I was using Pass Rush Elite. Now looking at Edge Threat and Under Pressure, it's kind of interesting. Edge Threat and Under Pressure combined are what equal Edge Threat Elite if you look at what the code is there. So for Edge Threat, you get the upgrade to a super win on a win. Then you get the interior rush animations and the edge rush animations, the superior ones. So you get the Edge Threat gives you the pass rush animations. Then Under Pressure gives you the increased pressure distance and increase the effect of the pressure. So you combine those, you get Edge Threat Elite. Then Finesse Specialist and Power Specialist. If you read the code, these read the exact same as Pass Rush Elite. So you might think that these are the exact same as Pass Rush Elite. However, Finesse Specialist and Power Specialist are both only activated in their respective move. So Finesse Specialist is only activated on a finesse move. Power Specialist is only activated on a power move. Now, Pass Rush Elite is activated on either. So with Finesse Specialist, if they double team your Finesse Specialist, he's not going to get that boost. If they double team your Power Specialist, he is still going to get that boost. But no matter what they do on Pass Rush Elite, Pass Rush Elite, you're still going to get the boost. So obviously, Edge Threat Elite and Pass Rush Elite are the best ones. I personally would use Edge Threat Elite. You get Edge Threat and Under Pressure in one ability, and then you can use Power Specialist as well to get that additional block shed time. So those are the pass rushing abilities. Next, I want to look at some running back abilities because those are interesting too. The first one I want to look at, we got Armbar, Bulldozer, and Bruiser. So if you look at it, you can see right off the bat, Bruiser is simply a combination of Armbar and Bulldozer. So obviously, Bruiser is going to be much more effective than Armbar or Bulldozer because you get both in one. So reading Armbar, it's running. So when you have a runner and you're running with a ball, elite stiff arm mechanic window. So that means the opportunity for you to press stiff arm and get an elite mechanic is widened. So you can press stiff arm a little bit late and still get that elite timing. You don't need to time it perfectly with armbar. So somebody can be mid tackle. You can press armbar. You can press stiff arm X, and you're going to get the elite timing still. Then the next thing is elite stiff arm broken tackle animations. That's going to give you better stiff arm animations. So not only do you not have to time it perfectly, but you're more likely to get an elite animation. Now, Bulldozer is the exact same phrasing, just with trucking instead of stiff arming. Then Bruiser is a combination of the both. There are some other quarterback ones I don't really feel like I need to get into. Those are not too complicated. I don't think anybody's really questioning those too much. The offensive lineman ones I'll look at. Edge protector here. It says block canned def move outcome. So the canned defensive move outcome, defensive super win. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to understand this too. So when the defensive move gets a super win, so let's say they have edge threat and they get their win upgraded to a super win. So they get the super win animation insta-shed. That animation is now blocked if you have edge protector. Now, I know edge protector doesn't really work that well, but that's what this code says right here. Is that super win insta-shed animation is now blocked if you have edge protector. Now, they also get signature interior and signature outside blocker, which basically just improves their blocking on the interior and outside. The next thing I want to look at is nasty streak. So blocking, meaning when there's a blocker, when somebody's going for a block, force impact outcome versus linebacker, offensive win. So that means when you do an impact block on a linebacker, you're going to get the win. It's not going to be a super win, but you're going to get the win. Next, force impact outcome versus DB, offensive win. So that means when you go on an impact block on a DB, your O-lineman is going to get the win. Now next, it says always attempt impact blocks versus DB. So that's interesting. Now, they only attempt impact blocks like a portion of the time based on their impact blocking. But this nasty trick is going to make anytime they're blocking a DB, they're going for an impact block. And then the next thing says forced impact outcome versus DB, offensive super win. So that means they are always going to go for an impact block against a DB. They're always going to get the super win. And again, like I said, the super win is when you run, like you absolutely annihilate them. So the nasty trick is going to make them completely destroy the DBs. Let me look at some wide receiver ones. These ones are pretty interesting too. Geez, there's a ton of these. So let's look at some post specialist, streak specialist. There's in, out elite, post flag elite, out corner elite. These are all the same. They're all exactly the same, just depending on what route you're running and what you have activated. So I'm going to look at out corner elite. So to start off, they all start with catching. That means anytime they're catching a ball, this will happen. Force special catch. So that means they're going to get more likely to get a special catch animation, meaning if they're covered, they'll moss the fuck out of the DB on corners and out routes. Block catch tackle outcome knockout. So they're going to block the knockout animation so it doesn't happen. Disable post-catch knockouts. So any post-catch knockout, not going to happen. Receiver win on cut. That means when they're running an out route or a corner route, they are going to win on the cut of the route. They're going to burn the DB. That's pretty important right there. Disable physics force knockout, just disabling another kind of knockout. Block MP catch outcome drop knockout. So again, that's just disabling another drop. If you guys ever play the game and your receiver catches it and then gets tackled immediately and they drop it, these are basically disabling those animations forever happening. So if you have out corner elite on out route and corner routes, those are not going to happen as often. Now, the last thing is pretty interesting. It says catching can always stack. Now, what I assume that means is if you look at out corner elite and then you look at in out elite, those are almost the same. What is different is the out and the corner route, or the in and the corner route, but what's the same is they both have out routes as elite. So because it says always can stack, that makes me think that if you had out corner elite and you had in out elite or post flag elite, then it would stack. It would give you double the benefits, if that makes sense. So it's okay, I think, if you're running two types of route specialists on there. Then we're looking at some X factors. There's a lot. He posted so many. I'm going to link it in the comments if you guys want to go take a look at your own. Most. Ooh, let's look at Most. This is going to be interesting because Most, obviously, was a huge issue. I'm going to look at the difference between Most and Double Me because that is pretty interesting. Okay, so Most, catching. So anytime you're catching a ball, it gets activated. Forced press outcome, offensive super win. So if they press you when you have Most, you get the super win. Catching, disabled physics, force knockout. You don't get the ball knocked out. Catching, force spec catch. You're always going to get a spec catch. Catching, force press direction, defender always wrong. So if your defender press he's always going to miss. He's always going to whiff, and you're going to win. Catching, forced catch win. Always going to win on the catch. Blocked catch outcome, drop knockout. Blocked catch outcome, interception. So you can't get the ball knocked out. You can't throw an interception. Disabled post-catch knockouts. You can't get the ball knocked out after a catch. Forced pressed outcome, offensive win. Forced mid-air outcome, catch. Block catch tackle outcome, knockout. So you cannot get the ball knocked out. You're always going to... We knew that. Moss, you're always... The thing I didn't know about Moss is that you get the super win on a press. I did not know that. And if you look at Double Me, which is interesting... Double Me has the exact same code. It has the exact same mechanics. So that means when you're using Double Me, it's almost the same as Moss, except Moss activates no matter what. Double Me activates only in single coverage. So that is the difference. They are exactly the same. One activates any coverage, one activates only in single coverage. So that is pretty interesting as well. Another thing I want to look at is something that I have been thinking about running instead of evasive, because I don't think I see evasive on here anywhere. Did he not put evasive on here? I want to look at the difference between evasive and jukebox and spin cycle, because I feel like what evasive is, what it looks like, evasive is just going to be spin cycle and jukebox together. So let's look at some DB ones. We got, actually, I want to look at unstoppable force. Blocking defender. So the blocking defensive move outcome, always an offensive win. Okay, so the offense always wins. Force defensive move outcome, defensive super win. Block defensive move outcome, offensive super win. Upgrade defensive win to super win. Forced defensive move outcome, defensive win. So what this is saying essentially is that the defense is always going to win. The defense is always going to super win, because not only are they winning, we're upgrading the win to a super win. And then we're blocking the offensive super win. So the offense can never super win against unstoppable force. Now, again, this is an X factor, so it's not a huge deal. Everyone knew unstoppable force was insane, so it's not super good. I want to look at... What do I want to look at? Human joystick and return man. This is pretty interesting. So they have the exact same code. Obviously, they do the exact same thing. Human joystick and return man. Human joystick says, it's not even in MUT yet, but we know it's coming soon. Human joystick says running. So anytime you're running, this is activated. Enable swerve loco. I don't know what the hell swerve loco is, but it sounds insane, brother. The next one, return man, running. When you're running, enable swerve loco. So you're enabling swerve loco. That is, I guess, a new mechanic while you're controlling your player that I never used before. But return man is already in the game. It is only activated on kick returns. So what you get out of return man on kick returns, you get on human joystick anytime they have the ball. So that is very interesting. If you want to learn what human joystick is going to feel like, go use return man, and it should give you a good idea. Then streak specialist, post specialist. These look like these are the same as any of the other route specialists, where they're just disabling knockouts. They're making it so you don't drop the ball after the catch, and they're giving you special catch. Now, something I want to look at, matchup nightmare and backfield mismatch. These are exactly the same. One is on a tight end. One is on a running back. So what they do is force catch win versus linebacker, force catch win versus defensive line. So anytime there's a linebacker or defensive line in there, they're going to get the automatic win. Force special catch. So that means they always win the special catch against a linebacker defensive win. Receiver win on cuts versus low-rated DB. Non-DB. So anything that's not a DB, the receiver's going to win on the cut. That's seemed like a given. Backfield mismatch is the same thing. So basically, you're always going to get the catch. You're always going to get the special catch against the mismatch, against a D-line or linebacker. Now, something I use a lot, which people do not use, which I think they should use, slot OMatic. This is an ability that I think is one of the best in the game. If you read the phrasing of all the code, it disables knockouts, it wins on cuts, and it forces a special catch. It does all the same things that any other elite route running, like in post elite, out corner elite. Slot-o-matic has the same, except now it's any route when you're in the slot. So why would you limit yourself to just out and corner routes? Put slot-o-matic on there, throw him in the slot, and now any route you put him on, he gets all those benefits. And then also if you put the route combo on top of that, the route elite, it can stack. So that's interesting. I recommend you guys use slot-o-matic. Route technician has just one. It's catching, receiver wins on cut. That's just basically making sharper cuts. I think it's good on all routes, but slot-o-matic does the same thing as route technician, just from the slot. So let me see if there's any other ones that are worth looking at. So here's some more running backs ones. So we got pin and pull guru, inside zone guru, and outside zone guru. Now what it does is it makes so it says running, they all have the same phrasing. Running _ so it's activated anytime you're running the ball. Block shed initial timer penalty. So that means all of the block sheds are going to take longer, meaning all of your blockers are going to hold their blocks longer depending on what run you do. So if you have inside zone guru, any inside zone run, you're going to hold your blocks longer. Any outside zone run for outside zone guru, pin and pull guru, it's going to be the same thing, just depending on what run you have and what you have activated. Then the next thing is push the pile auto wins. So when you are in a pile, when there are multiple people all lining you up, you get the auto win based on if you do the right run. So they're all three the same, just depends on what you run mostly. So I think a dive is considered an inside zone run. I don't think it needs to be called inside zone. I really hope not. Outside zone, I assume stretch, anything like that. And then pin and pull is going to be any type of power play or trap. So if you guys don't know the difference between a man blocking run play and a zone blocking run play, a pin and pull play is anytime there's a pulling guard, or if you know what I'm saying, in a power run or a trap, that's a pin and pull. And then inside zone is any inside the C gap, and outside zone is anything outside. So that's the difference there. Then the last thing I want to look at actually is called fast break. This is the mechanic that gives the quarterbacks different ball carry moves when they run the ball. So fast break, it says running. So anytime you're running, and it has to be with a quarterback. Block shed initial timer penalty. So anytime you run with a quarterback with fast break, your blockers are going to hold their blocks longer. That is very interesting. I did not know that. Running, push the pile, auto wins. So you're automatically going to get the win, fall forward when there's a pile and all that, which is interesting because that's the same as pin pull guru, inside zone guru, and outside zone guru. That is exactly the same. This is just when you run with your quarterback. Now, the last thing is passing. QB can abort initial move. Now, that is interesting because anytime you do a QB draw or design QB run, usually the quarterback steps back like it's a pass, and then it's a draw. He steps back, and then it's a draw. With fast break, you're able to abort that initial move and take off immediately. So that is the different type of running, I guess, that a quarterback doesn't usually get. But that is going to do it for the video, guys. I really hope this helped out. I know a lot of people were messaging me confused, wanting me to go over it. So those are the abilities I like. I'm actually really interested to kind of try out some different abilities that I didn't really know were that effective. If you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comments. I'm also going to leave the link to this Twitter account where you can see all this stuff in the comments down below, and you guys can check it out for yourself. There's a lot I didn't go over, but I went over what I felt like were the most important ones. If you guys liked the video, leave a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.
Now I'm on the outside.